Now let's move on to the correction of the first three exercises. Exercise 1. Exercise 1 is: there is a missing or incorrect word in each sentence. Find the mistakes and correct them. So I'm going to give you the corrected sentences as clearly and slowly as possible. Number 1 is: our teacher allowed us to use calculators. Our teachers allowed us to use calculators. So remember that we use an infinitive after the verb to allow, as opposed to the verb to let. If you remember the verb to let, because to let and to allow have more or less the same meanings. Okay, after to let we use an infinitive without to. Okay? Sentence number 2. We stopped the car to look at the beautiful view. We stopped the car to look at the beautiful view. Here we've got the verb to stop, which is followed by an infinitive with to. What does it mean? Because you know that we have two possibilities with the verb to stop. The first one is to stop plus to, and the second one to stop plus ing. So I'm going to remind you of the difference between those two patterns. Okay, right. The first one, stop plus to. We use stop plus to when we stop one action to do another action. For example, I stopped to smoke. What does it mean, I stopped to smoke? It means that you stopped something. Maybe you were walking, maybe you were working, and you stopped that action in order to light a cigarette and to smoke something. Okay? Right, yes, stop plus ing. Stop plus ing, for example, when you say I stopped smoking, it means that you stopped the action of smoking. Okay? Sentence number 3. Sentence number 3. Would you consider giving us a larger room? Would you consider giving us a larger room? Consider plus ing. Okay? Number 4. I'm afraid I forgot to lock the door. I'm afraid I forgot to lock the door. Forget plus to. Now I also want to remind you of the difference between forget plus to and forget plus ing. And remember that it's the same with the verb to remember. To remember plus ing and to remember plus to. Okay. You use forget or remember plus to when the first action is to remember or to forget. For example, remember to turn off the lights. Remember is the first action. You have to remember that you've got something to do before you can do the second action, which is turning off the lights. Okay? The second, remember or forget plus ing. Remember or forget plus ing. The order of the actions is like this. Let's take an example first. I will always remember skiing for the first time in 2005, for example. I will never forget skiing for the first time in 2005. Which action happened first? The action of skiing happened first. Okay? And the second action is remembering. Okay? Right? So when you use remember or forget plus ing, you're looking back to the past. You are remembering something that happened before. And to remember or to forget is the second action. Okay, so that was a short review. Now we continue with the correction of the first exercise. Sentence number 5, I think. Yes, the door seems to be locked. The door seems to be locked. Okay, now you remember that after the verb to see, we always have an infinitive with to. Number 6. I'll try sending him a text message. I'll try sending him a text message. Now, what's the difference between try ing and try plus to? You use try plus ing, like here. I'll try sending him a text message when you're talking about a suggestion, when you're giving a suggestion, or when you're suggesting a method that a person can use to solve a problem or as a solution to a problem. Okay, so here the person is trying to find ways to get in touch with someone, and one method that he could use is to send a text message. Okay, you can give more suggestions by saying, for example, I will try, if I were you, I would also try sending him a mail. Okay, or I would also try going to his place. Alright? By using try plus ing, you are indicating that these are possible solutions to a problem. Okay, and try plus to, because we started talking about try plus ing, let's also talk about try plus to. So we use try plus to when we're talking about something which is difficult to do and which requires some effort. Okay, like for example, try to lift this table. Try to lift this table. If you use try plus to, say in that sentence, it means that the table is very heavy and that it will require some effort to do the action. Sentence number 7. Did you remember to turn off the lights? Did you remember to turn off the lights? You can easily guess from my correction which action happened first. The first action in this sentence is remember. The second one, to turn off. Okay? The first action is remember, and the second one, to turn off. And the last sentence for exercise 1. I always try to stay in touch with my old friends. I always try to stay in touch with my old friends. Try plus to, because you know, when we are getting older, we've got more responsibilities and it's difficult to meet with friends. So it requires some effort to keep in touch with former friends. Alright?